Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Welcome
Let's
back,
go.
traders. How are we doing, guys?
I
God
wake up to a
bless
little bit
each
of
and
drool on my
every
pillow,
single one of
feel
you
like
guys.
it's
Hope
gonna
you're
be
having a fantastic freaking weekend. And Toy Story, the big talk of the day, right? Looking at what we're doing so far in overall revenue, box office numbers, Thursday preview 17.5 million, the best in 2026 so far, guys. And so far, franchise record for Toy Story. Friday opening day, 53.5 million to 71 million, including previews. Sorry, a little burp up there, with estimates of around 71 million for the full day. Now, just one day alone, that's insane when you look at the broader picture, and setting franchise records for Toy Story is actually really freaking impressive. So that's going to be one of the few things we talk about today, as well as the technical analysis and the short interest, the failures to deliver. So if you guys are new, right, if you guys are wanting to see more of this boulder smolder, right, a little bit more of the jawline, please, right, take a moment, slap the subscribe button, punch the like button. We're almost at 2K subscribers, guys. So let's do it and let's go. Get out of here, Razor. Uh, Looking at the charts, right? You had a high of 290 on freaking Thursday, and we know it's a long weekend. You're finishing, right? Closing the top of this candle during a long weekend, insanely bullish, or at least near, right? 7 cents off of the top of this candle on higher volume going into a long weekend is insanely bullish, guys. And not only is it a long weekend, we had Toy Story open up on Friday. I expect to see some kind of bullish catalyst come out Sunday or Monday on the revenue earned from Toy Story weekend. And this thing can be going much, much higher very, very quickly. Looking at the short-term time frame on AMC, let's take a little peeky-weeky at that, because on the 15-minute chart, I wanted to take a look and just let's do some due diligence here, right? Regardless of which way you go from this rising wedge, this is your structure, right? You're making a higher low and higher highs along the chart. Typically a bearish structure. You started the day with a fake out breakout, came all the way down. Everyone thought it was going to be a slow and boring day, but what you've done since is you broke the RSI band on the 15-minute time frame. You also are holding this ascending level of support, and you saw a beautiful rally of freaking 3.66% in a 15-minute candle going into the end of the day. That is very bullish, guys. Finishing near the top of the candle, and the volume on the freaking stock is the biggest story, right? The volume will tell the story, and it's telling us that it's bullish here. Razor, I'm going to lose my mind. Looking at the overall picture here, typically it's bearish, right? You would take that move by getting the full move down off of the wedge. And regardless of whether or not you break up or down, right, you're going to hit a very important technical artifact. If you break down, right, still bullish, in my opinion. I am a bull on AMC, and I remain to be as long as I live, right? Because you break down here, you're hitting 250. What was 250, traders? Kyle Jones, tell them, woo! 250 was the horizontal resistance that you bumped your head on. It was very, very important that you break out of this, and retesting that would be significantly bullish, in my opinion. But 318, right? This is 250 right here. You saw bounce, bounce, rejection, 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 and then it was over. 318 is this wick right here, traders. The higher high before absolutely being thrown into capitulation. That was your highest point from October before sliding all the way down to 93 cents. Either way, you're doing something significant next week, and I am so jacked up for Monday's market open because of this, right? You could continue to trade all of Monday, but eventually, at some point Monday, unless you trade to the absolute pinnacle of this wedge, you are going to see a breakdown or break up, or both, right? It could literally do that. It could fake out the bears, and what a better way to do it than that? I mean, you see that so often in the markets, it's actually painful. But that's kind of what we're looking for on Monday's market open. I expect volatility, and I expect great news. Downside, 7%. Upside, 10%, right? So higher upside than the downside here. On the broader picture here for AMC, I'm going to repeat the same exact market structure, and that is the weekly bull zone traders. Now I'm just going to flaunt a little. We are the best technical analysis channel for AMC. There's not a better channel out there covering this stock. You are going into the bull zone. Now, the bull zone is a very exciting place, traders, in which you see average candles. I'm not even looking at the price, right? Once you enter, 116%, follow up by 83%. That was our June run here, right? And before that was 36. The time before that, you saw a 50% candle going into a 277% candle. And the only other time besides for that, traders, was a rejection. And you saw 7% rejection. And then this time you saw a rejection. You were up 10%. And then this time, you entered the bull zone and went up about 30%. If you're telling me the 3 times AMC's ever entered that area on the weekly time frame, that you expect an 100% move at least, right? That level takes you upwards of, you guessed it, 550 or 566. Break that at 704. Break that, it's $10, right? And that's where it becomes very important to look at these previous support and resistances, because if you see this thing see a macro break, it's going to get messy, right? You're going to see volatility, you're going to see swings in price, but I expect you to at least tap 318 this week. On the daily time frame, you still have that technical bearish div, so that is the bearish scenario in which you see this thing reject here. In which you've made higher high, but you did break this overall downtrend, traders, and you're now in the bull zone or overbought on the get out of here, Razor, on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, I forgot to mention, traders, is every single time, this is a great example, right? You see these weekly crosses into the oversold territory or the bear zone, right? That's what we call it on this channel, bull or bear zone. You see the biggest moves on AMC, and you usually see technical follow-through, right? You cross down here, December 15th, 2025, 17% candle, and then capitulation to new lows. You saw it here. Enter down 65%, plus 5, and then down 45%, right? You saw it down here. Enter the bear zone. Down 16%, down 27%, down 28%, right? So these moves work both ways. And the fact that you are on the brink of doing something special on this stock gets me absolutely excited, guys. And it makes me happy because this community, this AMC community, is the one that got me into the stock market. It's the one that got me vocal. It's the one that got me, helped me learn to trade and made a community for me. So I will always be covering AMC regardless, because we were covering it on this slide down. We were also covering it on the way up, right? So regardless of what happens, I love you all. Looking at the short interest, I thought this was fascinating because your short interest is 8.52%, yada, yada, yada. But when you look at the overall short interest in the total float, right, you can see that you peaked back here in January. Well, what did you do in January, right? You saw the stock absolutely tumble into new lows, right? This was January stock price right about here. That was 150 or 145. You saw it go all the way down to 93 cents. But this is when your short interest was the highest in the entire stock's history. What else was it? May of 2024, right? You saw the absolute height in short interest. Well, what did you have? You had a squeeze, right? So you saw it right before the squeeze and right before the sneeze, right? This move down in short interest is very indicative of shorts covering. I do believe that over the last couple of months during this 200% rally, that shorts were exiting their positions at least a little bit, right? And that's a controversial topic for AMC, so let's not get into the naked shorting, which I do believe, not financial advice, I do believe is happening. But this overall move up, I expected shorts to begin to cover at least a little bit and to potentially hedge their position, swing long, right? Someone mentioned in my comment section yesterday that squeeze question mark, as if we didn't see a little bit of a squeeze here. I do believe this is some squeezy price action, right? Just to clarify. Now you're on the cusp of a 200-day and a 50-day cross. That's going to be a real squeeze, right? That is crazy, crazy volatility if you get that. But I thought I'd clarify, right? Days to cover, pretty low because the volume is high. Where was it, though? I was looking at something recently. This is what it is. I'm going to kill Razor, I swear. Failure to delivers are absolutely off the freaking chain, right? You see the price being relatively flat during this period. As soon as you ramp up with volume and as soon as you ramp up with upsized price action, right, you see failure delivers go up. Very coincidental, and I think we should get a little bit louder with this, right? I think we should share this information. I think we should bring this to the SEC, right, and say what's going on here, because 2.4 million shares over the bi-weekly reporting is insane, right? Even 574,000 shares is insane for most stocks, because you see AMC way, way heavier with a differential here for shares that failed to deliver, right? Those are shares that market makers just poof could not deliver because they probably didn't even exist, right? Things like this are what keeps my beliefs alive that this thing is a lot higher than 8% short interest, or at least the ways that they're shorting are either through ETFs, options, right? There's different malicious ways to do this. If you think AMC's short interest is 0, I think you're kind of wrong, right? But beyond that, right, you're absolutely bullish as all get out because you've reestablished this uptrend, right? Look at the previous bounces, huge. Your failure to hold, your rejection, and now you're blasting back above it. So holding above 250 traders going into next week is your main freaking mission. Holding above that gives you not only your golden cross, but it gives you a reality in which you're above this uptrend from the previous 2 all-time lows. Holding that makes you bullish, right? Because eventually you're going to meet your maker. You're going to meet this downtrend, this all-time freaking downtrend. Now that you've busted back in to this all-time channel on AMC after trading below it for over 3 years, those past 3 years of price action traders is gone. Thank God, right? Because this has been agonizingly painful to watch. But this, truthfully, is what I thought it always would be, right? Throughout this whole price action slope down, I have been preaching from the hills that I think you're going to see a retail revolution. You're going to see retail come back into the stock. And hopefully, right, hopefully you see a lot of squeezes and higher price action, right? On the weekly time frame, your Bollinger Bands are going ballistic. Absolutely ballistic. You're currently trading outside of them, which is not always the most bullish thing, but I expect it to continue to bulge on this move up. If you do come back within them, the top band is trading currently at 239. So that would be your downside area to hold, right? 239. On the monthly time frame, you're getting a little bit of a Bollinger Band squeeze here, which is fascinating to me, but you're above the mid band on the stock at 262. So that's also a good thing, right? Being above the mid band allows for this on the larger time frame to swing up, which would lead to hopefully price action leading to your gap fill, your major gap fill at 43 schmeckles, traders. But beyond that, traders, I just want to say thank you all for everything you've done for this channel. I'll continue to cover AMC. I'm jacked for the weekend and the week to come. So as always, traders, God bless you and your families. Hope you're having a stand-up weekend. And of course, if you're going to take anything away from this video, take this away, traders, that the best is yet to come. I love you all. Let's freaking go. Peace.